My child, stop, stay, do not scroll, do not delay. Listen to me now. This is not an accident, not a stray moment, not a random voice. I am Jesus, your Lord, your Creator, your Redeemer. I am closer than your breath, and I am speaking to you in this exact second with the full weight of heaven's attention. Give me 2 minutes, not ordinary minutes, holy minutes. These 2 minutes are set apart. Heaven marked them for you long before you reached for your phone, long before the questions pressed heavy on your chest, long before you grew tired of waiting for an answer. I am not asking to take your day. I am asking to consecrate your now. Offer me these minutes as a small, pure act of obedience. Treat them as a covenant, your attention, your stillness, your yes. I am not warning you to frighten you. I am pleading to awaken you. Heaven has declared an emergency over your life, not because you are beyond hope, but because hope is nearer than you think, and distraction is trying to steal it. The enemy has studied your patterns. He knows how quickly your focus can be pulled away, how easily your heart can be lured into one more scroll, one more postponement, one more later. Do not trade this holy moment for another passing window of noise. Do not exchange what I am placing in your hands for a handful of nothing. I am not speaking to everyone. I am speaking to you, the one who almost clicked away. Yes, you, the one who has felt a subtle trembling in your chest, who wonders if this is for real, who has been asking quietly, God, if you're speaking, make it clear. I am making it clear. That tightening in your spirit, that sudden stillness, that sense that the room itself grew attentive. This is me confirming. Heaven leans in. Angels stand watch. Your name is known. You say, why 2 minutes, Lord? Why now? Because what you give your attention to becomes your altar, and what you place on the altar I consume and transform. 2 minutes may seem small to you, but obedience is never measured by length. It is measured by surrender. In these 2 minutes, I am beginning a recalibration of your mind, your emotions, your direction. The window I have opened is real. It will not remain open forever, but it is open now, and your staying is your entry. Something is shifting, and you have felt it, even if you cannot explain it. You have noticed the fog beginning to thin, the heaviness loosening its grip in moments you can't quite account for. You have sensed the tug to pause, to breathe, to pay attention to the still, small voice pressing past the noise. That is me. That is my spirit drawing you into alignment with what I am already turning. Do not run from what you prayed for because it arrives quietly. Do not call it coincidence when it is my kindness steering you. Listen, obey, stay still, do not move, do not look away. Every second you remain under this word, I am untangling knots of confusion, fear, and doubt. I am softening what has grown hard. I am silencing the lies that say, you have missed it, you have wasted too much time, nothing will change. Those lies feed on your distraction. They starve in your obedience. The moment you agree to stay, the old agreement with anxiety begins to break. Comfort whispers, you have time. Delay hisses, do it later. The enemy will do anything to distract you now because he knows the threshold you are standing on. He cannot close the window I opened, but he will try to guide you away from it with the smallest nudge. My child, resist him by doing the simple, holy thing. Stay. Let this be your offering for the next breaths we share. Your eyes fixed, your heart opened, your mind yielded. Do you feel how the room is different? How your breathing slows? How your thoughts begin to settle as if waves meeting the word peace? This is not imagination. This is the beginning of the shift. I am bringing your heart back under my hand. I am gathering the scattered pieces of your attention like a shepherd gathers lambs. And as you stay, I will show you what to do next. Not 10 steps, 1 step, but not yet. First, let me hold you steady. I know the temptation to escape into noise when your soul aches. I know the allure of the endless feed when your hope feels thin. But I did not create you to be tossed by every current of distraction. I created you for communion, for clarity, for courage. These 2 minutes are your ark in the flood of noise. Enter and be safe. Enter and be set apart. Enter and let me rewrite what this day will be. If you could see what is lined up on the other side of your yes, you would not hesitate. There are alignments, conversations, ideas, and restorations already set with your name on them. There is peace I long to pour into the places that have been restless for too long. There is a turn I am about to make in your story, not loud at first, but real. This exchange only happens through obedience. Your staying is unlocking what cannot be released through wishing alone. Hear me. I am not distant. I am not punishing you with silence. I am here and I am speaking. I have waited. I have whispered. I have sent signs you did not know were signs. Now I am speaking plainly. Give me these minutes and do not move. Let them become a line in the sand, a boundary against the old patterns that devour your days. This is your sign. This is your answer. This is your rescue. Hold steady. Lift your eyes to me. Let the world fall quiet behind this moment. I am with you, my beloved, and as you stay, just stay, you will feel it. Clarity returning like dawn, resistance weakening like a storm that spends itself, a new season cracking open like a seed under warm rain. Do not trade these holy minutes for another scroll. I am here and I am beginning the shift you have been praying for. Stay with me. My child, I know. I know the exact weight that sits in your chest like a stone in the quiet hours. I know the nights you lie awake, eyes open to a dim ceiling, replaying conversations until they turn into knives. I know the afternoons when tears rise without permission, while you are washing a cup, answering an email, sitting in traffic, and you swallow them down because you can't explain why they came. I know the racing thoughts that run ahead of you the moment you wake, the way your heart beats too fast for reasons you can't name, the way your jaw tightens until you remember to breathe. I know the days where you feel everything all at once, and the days where you feel nothing at all and wonder if you broke something inside. I have seen what you never posted. I have heard what you whispered into your pillow when the house was quiet. I have counted the nights you believed no one noticed you were fading at the edges. I have watched you push through meetings with a practiced smile while your soul felt like it was standing in a storm. I know about the text you typed and deleted. I know the apology you wanted but didn't receive. I know the moment you stopped telling certain people the truth because you were tired of being misunderstood. I know the drawer with unread letters, the messages you have not had the courage to open, the bills that sit like accusations on your table. I know, and I am not guessing. I am not arriving now to make vague promises and pat your pain like a surface I do not intend to enter. I am addressing the exact place where it hurts, the shadowed corner where the fear lives, the memory that still makes your stomach seize, the name you do not say aloud because it tastes like salt and loss. I am stepping in there, the closet of your heart where you store the things you meant to deal with later. I am here now. You say, "But Lord, I asked you to speak before and you were silent." Listen to me. My silence was not absence. I was working behind what you could understand. I was moving threads you did not know were connected. I was safeguarding you from decisions that would have looked like relief and ended as ruin. I was weeding out voices that couldn't carry you where I am taking you. I was waiting until your hunger was greater than your habit, until you were ready to lay down the coping mechanisms that pretended to help but kept you numb. Do not mistake my patience for distance. I was nearer than your breath in the very hours you felt most forsaken. I felt you in the 3 a.m. walk to the kitchen for water you didn't want, just to hear a human sound in the dark. I watched you move through your day with the ache of not knowing who to trust. I saw you withdraw because it felt safer than risking another disappointment. I noticed the way your shoulders stayed lifted toward your ears, as if you alone were holding up the sky. I watched you make lists you could not finish, stare at a single sentence until your brain blurred and I whispered rest, but you didn't know how. I heard you ask me for a sign, something clear, something you could not ignore. My child, that is why I have interrupted you now. This is that sign. This is me, unmistakable, reaching into your present with my hand and my voice. You have said, if you are real, make it plain. I am making it plain. The warmth that spreads through your chest as you read these words, the quiet that is coming over your thoughts right now, the strange relief of being fully seen at last, that is me confirming. You are not making this up. Heaven has leaned in close to you. The universe itself holds its breath when I call your name. I am calling it now. Breathe. Yes, right now. Unclench your jaw. Loosen your hands. Drop your shoulders. Let your belly expand with the next inhale I am giving you. Let the exhale carry your worry to my feet. Let your spirit be still long enough to hear me without the static. You are safe with me in this moment. I am not going to expose you. I am not going to shame you. I am going to lift you. I know you are tired of bravely pretending, tired of forgiving what feels unforgivable, tired of being the strong one who never lets the dam break. I see the memory that visits you in the shower when the water is loud enough to hide your tears. I know how certain rooms make your heart race because they smell like a season you barely survived. I know the way you bargain with me. If I can just get through this week, and then the next week arrives with the same weight. You have not imagined the battle. The enemy has tried to crowd your mind with accusation, confusion, and the cloudy sense that you are lost in a maze without exits. He's tried to convince you that because you cannot feel me the way you used to, I must have moved. I have not moved. I have stationed myself at your side, steady and sure, while I dismantle the scaffolding of lies that held up your fear. You think your numbness disqualifies you, but your numbness is a symptom of how hard you have fought without letting me carry you. You think your sudden tears make you weak. They are evidence that your heart is still alive and refusing to harden. You have called yourself broken in a way that cannot be fixed. I call you mended in progress, a vessel I am repairing from the inside out. Every crack is a place where my light will shine through. You have wondered why this message found you here now, because you asked for rescue and you set a fleece in your own heart. If you interrupt me, I'll know it's you. I am interrupting you because I know the exact hour your strength would begin to fray, because I saw the decision you would make out of fear if I did not intervene, because I measured the distance between your last hope and the voice that talked you out of it, and I would not let that voice have the last word. I am reclaiming your attention and your affection. I am calling back your scattered thoughts, your restless questions, your burdened breath. Listen to me, beloved. Your confusion is not evidence that I abandoned you. It is the fog that lifts when the sun rises, and the sun is rising now. My plans for you have not been canceled. What was delayed will not be denied when you walk with me. I am clearing the static. I am breaking the loop of overthinking that has exhausted you. I am replacing torment with peace. Peace first, then direction. But for this breath, let me name you mine, and let that be enough to steady you. Place your hand over your heart for a moment. Feel it beat. I keep that rhythm. I sustain your breath. I know when it stutters with fear and when it steadies under my word. Whisper, even if your voice shakes, here I am. That is your small yes in this moment. That is your agreement with me over the noise. I hear you. Heaven hears you. The angels watch as you turn inward toward my presence and away from the clamor that has bruised you. I am not asking you to fix everything at once. I am not handing you a map with 1,000 routes. I am touching the wound you tried to ignore and saying, I see it. I am sitting with you in the stillness that feels both foreign and holy. I am reminding you that you are not a project. You are a person I love, a soul I formed, a story I am still writing. Do not harden against my tenderness because you were taught love always asks you to perform. My love heals first, then it leads. Stay here a little longer with me. Keep breathing, keep letting your grip loosen. The weight you've been carrying in silence is being transferred into my hands, one anxious thought at a time, one hidden ache at a time. You do not have to hold the world. You only have to hold this moment with me. I am here and I know everything about you, and I am not going anywhere. My child, now hear me clearly. Here is what is shifting, not merely circumstances rearranging, but the atmosphere around you clearing. The fog is lifting. The grip of fear is loosening. The heaviness that sat on your chest is thinning like mist before the morning. What has pressed on your mind like a constant hand is losing power. I am restoring your inner sight. I am steadying the compass of your spirit. You are not imagining this. You are entering a different air, one I prepared for you before you knew to ask. You have lived beneath a weather system that was not from me. Clouds of confusion, winds of accusation, sudden storms of dread that broke without warning. They convinced you to question every good thing, to suspect kindness, to brace for impact even in quiet hours. That system is breaking. I am commanding peace over the currents that have battered you. Peace first, then direction. The proof will not begin with a headline in your life. It will begin with breath returning to rhythm, with thoughts untangling, with the sound of my voice becoming simple again. Listen. Stay. Be still. Do not negotiate with doubt. Do not rehearse the worst-case scenario. Do not let the old chorus of what if reclaim your mouth. The enemy's pattern has been predictable. Delay, distraction, doom thinking, and the whisper that says, you have time. Do it later. Scroll once more. Think this through until you are too tired to move. Then he adds self-condemnation to the end of your day. See? You failed again. You don't really change. This loop kept you passive. Restless but paralyzed, awake but not advancing. I am severing that loop. Each second you stay in obedience under my word, the loop loses its circuit. When chains begin to loosen, they rattle. When a limb that has been asleep receives blood again, it tingles, it aches, it feels strange. When I move you into a new posture, the muscles trained by survival protest. Do not call this protest a sign you should turn back. Call it what it is, the noise of freedom beginning. Of course it feels unfamiliar. You built routines around fear to keep you safe. Now I am becoming your safety, and the old comforts are shouting as they are evicted. Do not negotiate with them. Thank them for the false shelter they tried to be, and let them go. My beloved, notice what is already happening in you, that sudden stillness that settles for no clear reason, that warmth in your chest like a candle relit, the way your eyes moisten when you think of me without knowing why, the strange urge to pray in the middle of an ordinary task, the breath that comes deeper when you whisper, "Here I am." Recognize these as invitations, not coincidences. These are the early signs of clarity returning. I am calling your heart to attention. I am teaching your nervous system the sound of my peace. You ask, how will I know this shift is real and not just a mood? You will know because the fruit will remain even when emotions ebb. Panic will knock, but it will not take the seat it used to own. The old intrusions will come softer and leave sooner. Temptations to spiral will feel less persuasive. You will reach for me first, not as an afterthought. You will find courage for small obediences you postponed for months. Light will feel weightier than darkness. Hope will not be fragile china you're afraid to touch. It will be bread you can break and eat. Hear me. Your clarity is returning, not as a floodlight that blinds, but as dawn that faithfully progresses. You will recognize the tone of my voice again, firm but kind, corrective but never crushing, direct without humiliation. The counterfeit voices that nag, mock, and accuse will grow easier to identify and refuse. I am sharpening your discernment in this very moment. You will not need to chase 1,000 signs. You will learn to rest in the one step I give you and take it, not 10 steps, one, then another, and guard this shift. Protect it the way you would shield a flame from the wind. How? By refusing the enemy's oldest invitations. When delay whispers, "There is no rush," answer, "My obedience is now." When distraction sparkles, "Just a minute," answer, "My attention is holy." When doom thinking narrates the worst ending, answer, "My story is held by the one who writes redemption." When self-condemnation starts its trial, answer, "I will not testify against myself when my advocate speaks for me." Speak it aloud if you must. Your mouth can open doors to truth or to torment. Choose truth. Listen. Stay. Return your gaze. Take another breath. Do not scroll. Do not flee the stillness I am giving you. Do not diagnose yourself by yesterday's data. I am making new things grow under the surface. Even now, pathways once choked with thorns are being cleared. Places in you that could not hold peace for more than a few minutes are learning to host my presence for hours. You will look back soon and say, "It is quieter inside. It is brighter in here. I can hear again. Understand why I move this way. If I only changed your circumstances, your heart would repeat the old fear in a new room. So I am changing the room inside you first. When the atmosphere shifts within, you carry weather that does not bow to storms. You stop being tossed by every headline, every text, every unkind glance. You become anchored. Anchored people see clearly. Anchored people obey quickly. Anchored people are hard for the enemy to herd. You may feel grief rise as you let go of the familiar. Let it pass through. Grieve the years you lost to overthinking, to people-pleasing, to paralysis. Grieve, and then release the yearnings that kept you small. The grief will not drown you. It will cleanse you. In its wake, you will notice room in your chest where there was no room before. That is the space where courage will live. Do not despise the small confirmations I send. A conversation that arrives at the right hour. A timely remembrance of a promise I whispered long ago. Strength to finish a task you have avoided. The grace to forgive a name that knotted your stomach. These are not random. They are the footprints of the shift walking through your day. Bless them. Thank me for them. Agreement is how you stay aligned with what I am doing. I am dismantling the agreements you made with delay and distraction. You thought they were innocent companions. They were thieves wearing gentle faces. Comfort whispered, "You have time," while time slipped like water through open hands. The enemy circled you with later, until later became a wall. Today I break that wall. Today later loses its crown. Today the cycle of almost obedience ends. Stand with me now in this. Place your hand over your heart again and say, even softer than before, yes. That is your warfare. Your yes shifts structures I have long waited to overturn. Your yes gives me legal ground in the courts of heaven you cannot see, to release what has been held back by hesitation. Your yes tells the enemy, access revoked. My child, the shift is real. Your clarity is returning. The enemy's grip is weakening. Do not step out of this moment as if nothing happened. Walk forward as one who carries new air. Protect it with choices. Nourish it with my words. Water it with daily, small obediences. As you do, you will watch delay lose its voice, distraction lose its sparkle, and despair lose its throne. I am turning the page, quietly at first, then clearly. Stay with me, and you will read the next line without fear. My child, the window is open. Feel it. The air has changed around you. This is not imagination. This is not a mood. This is the hinge of a new season turning under my hand. I am opening what your striving could not budge. But hear me. Certain doors do not respond to wishing, to analyzing, to scrolling for courage. They respond to obedience. They answer to the weight of your yes. I am not rushing you to harm you. I am urging you to rescue you from another season of almost free, almost healed, almost obedient, almost peaceful. You have lived too long at the boundary of what I promised, touching the edge of it with longing and then retreating because fear dressed itself as wisdom and delay wore the perfume of later. Not this time. Not this window. I am cutting through the haze and calling for one small, immediate yes. You say, Lord, I'm tired. I know, but tired is not the same as finished. You say, I don't have the energy. I am not asking you for the energy of a marathon. I am asking you for the lean of your heart. Lean toward me. Offer me the next 2 minutes like a seed. I will make it a mountain you can climb. You say, what if I fail like before? Listen, failure is not your prophecy. Surrender is. The victory is not in how strong you feel. It is in how quickly you agree. Understand this difference and let it steady you. Waiting and delaying are not the same. Waiting is faith with posture, lamps filled, shoes on, heart alert, eyes at the window for me. Waiting is active trust, an obedient stillness that keeps your yes ready. Delaying is fear with excuses, turning up the noise, negotiating with the urge to obey, saying soon to what you know is now. Waiting strengthens, delaying drains. Waiting is alignment, delaying is avoidance. You know which one you have practiced. Today you change the practice. My child, step into this with me. For the next 2 minutes, do this simple holy act. Whisper my name, Jesus. Let it steady you. Give me the outcome you have been gripping. Say it out loud if you can. I place this outcome in your hands. Then ask me for the next step, not the whole map. You do not need the entire route. You need the next faithful footfall. Breathe slowly. Put your hand over your heart and feel it beat under my keeping. Ask, what is my next right act of obedience? Then be silent with me. Let the answer rise in the quiet. Do not scroll. Do not flee the stillness. If you hear only one word, begin there. If you sense a nudge that seems too small to matter, that is likely the door. I often wrap destiny in small acts that pride will ignore, but humility will honor. Send the message you've avoided. Delete the number that keeps you in a loop. Open the document you have feared. Schedule the appointment you keep postponing. Step outside and pray where you said you would. Throw away what secretly owns you. Apologize where your conscience has pressed you. Bless the person whose name makes your chest tighten. Start the task you have renamed tomorrow 100 times. This is not busy work. This is the key turning. You wonder, could one small yes matter this much? Yes, because obedience is not measured by the size of the action, but by the surrender in it. The mustard seed moves mountains because it agrees with me against the odds. A 2-minute offering of attention, a whispered "Here I am," a step taken before your knees stop shaking. These are the levers that shift trajectories in my kingdom. Each second of obedience opens a floodgate I have kept ready for this moment. Each yes interrupts the enemy's script of delay and writes my sentence over your day. Hear my heart. I am not setting a trap. I am setting a table. The urgency you feel is protection, not punishment. I see where the road of postponement leads. I see the conversation that would pull you back into old agreements. I see the small compromise that would feel harmless and cost you clarity. So I hasten you now, not to shame you, but to shelter you. Step through this window while it is open wide, and the breeze of my spirit is at your back. You say, "But I need more details." No, you need more trust. Details become idols when they delay obedience. I have never asked you to control the outcomes, only to obey the instruction. Obey and watch me handle what you cannot. You say, "I'm afraid of choosing wrong." Then anchor your choice in what you already know I said. I have whispered something to you before this moment. Return to it. Often the next step is the last step I gave, done now with fresh courage. Listen. Be still. Ask. Receive. Move. This is how you walk through an open window without breaking it. Slow, deliberate, surrendered. Do not despise the quiet confirmation that follows. It may not be fireworks. It may be a simple peace, a steadying in your chest, a sentence you cannot shake. That is enough to begin. I do not steer a parked heart. I guide a moving yes. I tell you the truth. Your breakthrough does not begin with applause. It begins with alignment. You bring me a small act of obedience. I release a disproportional grace. You take the step that costs your pride. I untie knots that have held for years. You dignify this window. I keep it open long enough for you to bring others through it later. But right now, it is you and me. Right now, your yes matters more than you think. So, for these next 2 minutes, sanctify your attention. Whisper my name. Surrender the outcome. Ask me for the next right thing. When it comes, do it today, not 10 steps. 1, then come back to me for the next. This is how we walk together. This is how seasons change. Quietly at first, then clearly. The window is open, my beloved. Step through. My child, listen to me now and let me place holy light over the pages you've been afraid to reread. Stop calling it punishment. What you walked through was preparation. What I took from your hands was protection. What felt like subtraction was pruning under my careful hand. I am not cruel. I am a gardener who loves what he tends, and I touch no branch I do not mean to bring to greater fruit. You thought I was rejecting you. I was redirecting you. You thought I was closing your life. I was closing a path that would have closed you. You thought I was taking your voice. I was silencing the noise that bullied your soul so you could hear me again. You prayed for blessing and I answered with boundaries. You asked for promotion and I answered with pruning. I know you did not recognize the gift because it came wrapped in loss, but I have never once used punishment to replace the love I pledged to you. Judgment was satisfied at the cross. What you have felt in this season was my mercy cutting away what secretly cut you. Hear me with your whole heart. I was not far. Paraphrase. I am near to the brokenhearted. I do not waste suffering. I gathered every tear that wet your pillow. I stood beside you in rooms where you felt invisible. I defended you when slander wandered to tables you never sat at. I held back storms that would have swallowed you, and I allowed smaller winds to strengthen your stance. I am not explaining away your pain. I am interpreting it with you. You did not fail beyond repair. You were being fashioned. Let me teach you what pruning is, because the enemy has lied to you about my knife. Pruning is not punishment. It is love with a blade. I remove what drains you, habits that promise comfort but keep you numb. I remove what delays you, cycles of almost obedience that put later on your lips until your hope grows tired. I remove what dilutes you, identities you stitched together from other people's approval and old vows you made to protect yourself from pain. I cut back branches that grew in the direction of applause but not in the direction of fruit. I severed conversations that always returned you to shame. I withheld certain opportunities because they were nets, not doors. I did not do this to humiliate you. I did this to heal you. You asked me to use you mightily, and I said yes. But vessels for my power are first emptied of false strength. You asked me to speak, and I said yes. But ears trained on flattery must be retuned by silence until my whisper sounds like home again. You asked me to make you brave, and I said yes. But courage is not theater. It is obedience in the dark, and it is forged when you walk without the old crutches that told you who you were. I did not pry them from your hands to embarrass you. I opened your fingers because they were wrapped around what was slowly choking the life I placed in you. You remember the relationship I would not let you save. You call it a failure. I call it a rescue. You could not see the fractures beneath the paint. I saw where compromise would have multiplied, and you would have memorized a version of yourself that always apologizes for existing. I cut it. You think of the job you almost had, the door that gleamed like gold and then slammed. You call it rejection. I call it redirection. That role would have praised your gift and starved your soul. I am unwilling to make you successful at what would make you small. You argue with me about time you think you lost. My child, no time surrendered to me is wasted. I sowed it like seed. The months you call barren were root work. The hidden years trained your reflexes to reach for me first. The silence thickened your discernment. The loneliness, which felt like a cavern, turned into an altar where pretense burned away. Do not despise the ache that pressed you to me. You can hear me more clearly now because you have been emptied of the props that always shouted over my whisper. Listen to this too. Your sensitivity is not a liability. It is a sign of healing. When skin has been burned, it is tender while it knits. When a heart has been cauterized by betrayal, it feels raw as truth returns. You have called it weakness because you cry at kindness now, because noisy rooms tire you, because you can no longer fake fine without your body protesting. But this is the miracle. Your alarms are working again. Your spirit is no longer anesthetized by constant distraction. You sense the shift of peace and the sting of compromise, and that sensitivity will protect your clarity. Blessed are the hearts that tremble when I speak. They will not miss the small instructions that move mountains. You say, but why so much cutting? Why couldn't you bless without the blade? Because wild growth wins the eye but steals the fruit. Because you prayed to be effective, not just impressive. Because you asked me to make you whole, and wholeness meant setting bones that healed crooked. I did not cut where I did not plan to heal. I did not strip what I do not intend to clothe with better covering. My pruning is precise, never random, surgical, never spiteful. The same hand that holds the knife holds you. I want you to look again at what you call mistakes. Look with me. That season where you felt silence taught you to treasure truth over noise. That door that never opened taught you persistence without entitlement. That no taught you to listen for my yes instead of chasing every light. The betrayals unmasked idolatry. You learned not to make altars out of people. The exhaustion revealed the cost of wearing masks. You learned that authenticity is lighter than performance. What you learned in pain will not be unlearned in comfort. It is now part of your muscle memory. You are not disqualified. You are trained. If you survived it, you did not simply endure. You were instructed. You learned grief without bitterness, forgiveness without self-erasure, boundaries without building a prison around your heart. You learned to bless me when I give and when I take away, to praise with clean lips that are not bargaining. You learned to pray beyond outcomes, to love me for me. Tell me again that you came out empty. No, beloved, you came out refined. Do not let the enemy rename what I have redeemed. He will point at the stump where a branch once sprawled and say, "See, loss." I point at the same place and say, "Watch, fruit." He will whisper, "You are behind," and I will answer, "You are right on time for what I have planned." He will parade your scars as proof you are broken beyond usefulness, and I will trace those scars with my fingers and say, "These are your credentials. This is where my strength met your weakness. This is where others will recognize the doorway to their own healing. I know you longed for a path without tears, but tears have watered the soil for compassion. You hoped for a testimony without weakness, but your weakness has become the frame for my glory. I have not been trying to make you hard. I have been making you holy. I have not been reducing you. I have been concentrating you. Less noise, more essence. Less performance, more presence. Less hurry, more weight. The world measures by expansion. I measure by depth. And depth was the gift of this last season. So do not resent what I removed. Bless what left. Release with gratitude what I pruned from your hands. If it had remained, it would have remained at the cost of your calling. If it had stayed, it would have stayed with strings that strangled your joy. I will not let something you cling to slowly claim you. I love you too much to watch you settle for survival when I made you to carry peace, direction, and fruit that remains. Now hear this promise and anchor it. Your pain was not proof I left. It was evidence I was shaping you for what is next. The proof of my love in this pruning will be the ease with which you now recognize my voice, the speed with which you say yes, the lightness that settles when you choose what is clean over what is merely convenient. You will taste the difference between delay and waiting. You will feel the difference between punishment and preparation. You will look at old temptations and see them for what they are, stalling tactics, not safety. Take another breath. Place your hand on your heart. Say, "Thank you for preparing me." Let shame fall off as you speak it. Let regret loosen its grip. Let self-accusation be silenced. You did not waste your wilderness. You worshipped through it, sometimes with a whisper so small you thought it didn't count. I counted it. I kept record of every small obedience you gave me under pressure, and I wove them into the strength you feel returning now. This is why the window is open and your next small yes carries such weight, because the knife has already done its work. The branch is lighter, the sap is clear, the bud is forming. Walk with me without the old drag on your ankles. When resistance rises, remember, the old season knows it is ending. It will not end with you apologizing for growing. It will end with you aligned, protected, prepared, pruned, and ready. Stay with me. Do not scroll away from this truth. Hold it. Bless the pruning. Bless the protection. Bless the preparation. Then step forward, not as one punished and pardoned reluctantly, but as one chosen, tended, and trusted to carry what I am about to place in your hands. My child, listen and let your shoulders soften under my hand. I am rebuilding your inner world. Peace first, then direction. I could rearrange the scenery around you in an instant, but if I do not steady the room within you, you will carry yesterday's storm into tomorrow's sunrise. So I begin here, at the place where fear has been ruling, because when the heart is quieted, instruction becomes simple, and when the soul is held, the path becomes clear. Breathe with me now. Do not rush. Let the air fill your lungs as a reminder that you are kept. On the exhale, release what you have been clenching, resentment that sours your hope, shame that misnames you, self-blame that ties your hands, the pressure to figure it all out tonight. You do not have to solve your life by midnight. I am not measuring you by speed, but by surrender. This is the exchange I offer you in this holy moment. Give me your panic, I will give you my peace. Give me your weakness, I will give you my strength. Give me your confusion, I will give you my counsel. Give me your hurry, I will give you my timing. Give me your self-accusation. I will give you my advocacy. This exchange is not a theory. It is an altar. Lay down what bruises you. Receive what heals you. Hear me clearly. You are not too late, too damaged, or too inconsistent to be loved and led. I know the loops you rehearse when the room grows quiet. I should have known better. If I hadn't failed then, if I were stronger now. I am not waiting for a better version of you to start guiding you. I am your Father, your Redeemer, and I lead those who let me hold them as they are. I am not ashamed to sit with you in the fragments. I do not flinch at your tears or turn away when your confidence shakes. Shame is a cruel teacher. It trains you to hide just when you need help. I am retraining you with mercy. Come into the open with me. Honesty is not a detour, it is the doorway. This is the posture I invite you into. Simple, repeatable, holy, slow prayer, honest confession, quiet listening. Slow prayer means you do not race me. Whisper my name on your inhale and surrender on your exhale. Jesus, here I am. Let your breath anchor your attention in my presence. Honest confession means you stop editing what you hand me. Say it plain. I'm afraid of failing. I resent them. I feel alone. I'm tired of trying to be impressive. Truth spoken to me is not ammunition against you. It is a key that unlocks the chains you refuse to name. Quiet listening means you stop shouting over my whisper. Set a gentle timer for a few minutes. Sit. Place your hand over your heart. Ask, what is my next right act of obedience? Then wait without bargaining. Let your soul come back into agreement with my voice. Do not despise how ordinary this sounds. Peace builds like a house, one measured stone at a time. Breath, confession, silence, obedience. I am resetting the rhythms inside you so that anxiety no longer calls the meetings and panic no longer holds the gavel. My peace is not a fragile mood that shatters under pressure. It is a person, my presence with you, closer than your breath. When you rest in me, storms may still shout, but the shout does not enter you. This is how you will know the rebuilding is real. You will feel the same wind others feel, but it will not own your decisions. Let me speak to the hidden shame that still tries to bargain in your thoughts. If I mess up again, he will leave. If I cannot keep up, he will pick someone more faithful. No, I do not recruit you on probation. I sealed my commitment to you with my own blood, not with your performance. I correct, yes, I prune, yes, but I do not abandon my work. I am patient with the practice of your obedience. I celebrate the small turns you take toward me. I count the seconds you sanctify to listen as offerings of love. Your inconsistency is not stronger than my faithfulness. Let that break the lie that keeps you distant. Now come closer. Place what is heaviest before me by name. Say it now, softly, the bitterness you kept as armor, the apology you owe but fear will cost you pride, the habit that soothes you while it steals you, the voice that says, fix it yourself. Lay them down. As you do, take what I am giving in their place. Hear me naming the exchanges for bitterness, blessing, for pride, dignity through humility, for false comfort, true consolation, for self-reliance, the ease of being carried. You will not leave this moment empty-handed. I am placing peace like a mantle over your shoulders and strength like marrow in your bones. Understand my sequence and let it become your safety. Peace first, then direction. If I lead you without first stilling you, your trauma will interpret my orders as threats. If I give you maps while your heart is frantic, you will treat every fork as a trap. So I slow you until love is louder than fear. From that place, guidance is not a test you must ace. It is a conversation you enjoy. I will not drop you into ambiguity and laugh while you flail. I am a shepherd. I guide. Often I guide quietly because quiet keeps you close. You will notice the rebuilding in small proofs. You will catch yourself choosing quiet over noise without effort. You will forgive faster, not because what happened was light, but because you are lighter. You will feel panic knock and you will not open the door. You will wake and the first words in your mouth will be gratitude, not dread. You will read the same text that once sent you spiraling and feel only a ripple that quickly settles. This is not pretense, it is healing. You will hear me nudge you toward a call, a step, a closing of a browser, a walk outside, a moment of stillness, and you will obey before the internal debate begins. From peace comes promptness, from quiet, clarity. Do not let urgency turn into frenzy. I have asked you for a 2-minute yes, not a lifetime solved in a single night. When the voice of pressure says, hurry or you will miss it, answer with the truth. My obedience is now, and my God is not frantic. Rest is not laziness when it is trust. Sleep can be warfare when anxiety wants the last word. Put your phone down when I nudge you. Drink water. Step into sunlight. Write the sentence I give you and then stop when I say enough. These simple acts are not beneath you. They are bricks in the house of peace I am building. My child, agree with me. Say, I receive your peace. Say, I release my need to control the outcome. Say, teach me to listen again. Do not scroll away from this softness. It is strength in its beginning. Let me sit with you in the quiet until your pulse slows and your jaw unclenches. When your heart settles, I will speak direction that fits in your hands. It will not be 10 steps. It will be the next right thing delivered in a tone you can bear. Then, as you obey, I will widen the path beneath your feet. I am not only changing what happens to you, I am healing the place inside you where fear has ruled like a false king. I am dethroning it now. Peace is taking the seat, and from this seat I will guide you, steadily, kindly, precisely. Stay here with me a little longer. Breathe, confess, listen, receive. Move when I say move. This is how your inner world becomes a sanctuary, and your life becomes a testimony. Peace first, then direction. My child, now that your heart has quieted under my hand, hear me clearly. I am not hiding the instruction from you. I already whispered it. It has returned to you in the night and during simple moments when you were washing dishes, standing in the shower, sitting in your car. You called it a hunch. You called it a thought. I call it my voice, persistent and patient, circling you in love until you are brave enough to say yes. This is how I have been speaking, through the steady conviction that will not wear out, even when you try to distract yourself. Through repeated nudges that resurface after every detour and every excuse. Through wise counsel from people I have sent, those whose lives carry fruit, not just volume. Those who love me more than they love your approval. Through impressions in Scripture when your eyes land on a phrase and your heart warms with recognition, not as a rule to crush you, but as a lamp to guide your next step. Through doors I have closed that you kept pushing against, not to punish you, but to keep you from a hallway that ends in harm. Through doors I have opened that you have delayed walking through because the light beyond them showed how much you had outgrown the room you were in. This is not random, this is relationship. I am leading you. You keep asking me for a 10-year plan. I am asking you for one obedient step. You say, give me the entire map and I will move. I say, move on the next right thing I already whispered and I will widen the path beneath your feet. You are paralyzed by what-ifs and worst-case scenarios you have rehearsed like liturgy. But analysis is not the same as wisdom. There are questions you are using as a shield to avoid the answer you already know. Lay down the need to see the horizon and trust me for the next faithful footfall. Let me make it plain, and let this clarity be mercy to your mind. If the instruction was to reconcile, do so only where it is safe and wise. Humble your heart, take responsibility for your part, Seek peace if it does not endanger the safety I am reclaiming in you. If the instruction was to set a boundary, set it without apology. Yes means yes, no means no. Peace is too costly to rent out cheaply. If I urged you to return to prayer at a simple hour, do it without ceremony. Set a small daily time. Open your mouth, open your heart. Consistency will do more for you than intensity ever did. If I put on your heart to begin the application, to school, to the job, to the program you have said is for others, open the document and fill the first page today. If I pressed you to make the call you have avoided, to a mentor, to a doctor, to someone you must ask forgiveness from, dial with trembling and do not rehearse speeches. Speak truth with gentleness. If I have been calling you to forgive, release them to me again, not to erase justice, but to end the lease they hold in your mind. If I whispered, seek help, then seek it. Schedule the counseling appointment, talk to the pastor, join the group, invite accountability. Healing grows faster in the light. If I placed my finger on a secret compromise, end it. Not tomorrow, not after one last time. End it. Delete the app you hide in. Remove the number that keeps you circling the same drain. Throw away what owns your attention and calls it comfort. Close the window that becomes a doorway to old chains. Do not return to what I delivered you from. Do not water what I told you to uproot. Do not pet the snake I removed from your garden and call it progress. You are not cursed to live in cycles. You are called to live in covenant. And covenant sounds like this. When you speak, I obey. Slowly at first, then more quickly, because love trains me to trust. You obey not to earn my love, but because you are mine. You cannot purchase what I already gave you at the highest price. Your obedience is not payment. It is alignment. It is what happens when a loved child recognizes the voice of their father and follows it home. I know how the mind negotiates when the heart is scared. You say, what if I am wrong? If you are moving in humility, rooted in what you know of my character, surrounded by wise counsel, and turning from sin toward light. I am a shepherd who knows how to guide a moving sheep. A parked heart is harder to steer. Take the step you know and let me correct your course in love, if needed. You say, what if people don't understand? You are not being trained by the opinions of the crowd. You are being trained by my voice. Let misunderstanding become an altar where your need for approval is surrendered. You say, what if this costs me? It will cost you something, but it will not cost you me. And what you release for my name, I redeem with interest, peace, clarity, fruit that remains. Listen for how my instruction comes to you in the next moments, a sentence that won't let go of you, a picture of a task you've postponed, a name that rises with weight, a discomfort that points to a boundary, a relief that points to a door. I am not asking you for the spectacular. I am asking you for the surrendered. I did not teach you peace so you could sit still forever. I taught you peace so you could move with me without panic steering your steps. Remember the categories and let them locate you. Reconcile if safe and wise. Set boundaries where chaos used to rule. Return to prayer at a simple daily time. Begin the application or the draft or the plan that scares you. Make the call you keep dreading. Forgive and leave room for me to be God. Seek help instead of hiding. End the secret compromise that keeps your authority thin. For some of you, the next right thing is physical. Clean the space that mirrors your mind. Pay the bill you fear. Create the budget. Prepare the meal your body needs. Step outside and let sunlight reintroduce hope to your skin. For others, it is relational. Bless the one you grumble about. Stop rehearsing the argument. Stop stalking the past. Release the narrative that makes you a victim when I have called you redeemed. For others still, it is spiritual. Open the scriptures at dawn. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Write the prayer. Kneel without words. Fast a small thing for a short time. Rejoin the gathering you abandoned in loneliness. Hear my warning wrapped in love. The enemy will try to rename procrastination as prudence and nostalgia as discernment. He will remind you of how many times you tried before to convince you this time is the same. He will lure you back to the very edges I rescued you from and call it closure. Do not go. Do not touch what burned you. Do not study what made you sick. Do not pet the memory like a souvenir. Close the tab. Close the door. Close the mouth that wants to defend what I have already judged as harmful for you. If you must return to a place or person, return with boundaries, blessing, and backup, not with fantasy and chains. Let me tell you what will meet you on the other side of this step. A peace that feels like firm ground, a lightness you forgot you could carry, a recalibrated sense of who you are. You will not become mine because you obey. You obey because you are mine. You are beloved before you begin. That is why you can begin without terror. My love is the floor you stand on while you take the step, not the prize you must win after you perform. When you stumble, I will steady you. When you hesitate, I will whisper again. When you obey, I will breathe on it. Now sanctify these next 2 minutes again. Ask me plainly, what is the next right thing you already whispered? Wait without forcing an answer. When it rises, write it. If writing is not possible, speak it softly. If speaking is not possible, hold it reverently before me. Then do something to seal it. Set the alarm, send the message, open the file, make the appointment, place the object in the trash, step outside and declare out loud, I choose obedience. Small, immediate, holy. This is how seasons turn. By ordinary acts done in extraordinary agreement with me. This is how clarity returns. By moving with the light you have, not the light you wish you had. This is how resistance breaks. By starving what once owned you and feeding what I am growing. I am with you in this step. I am before you in this step. I am behind you in this step. Do the next right thing I already whispered, my child, and watch how quickly the path beneath your feet begins to shine. My child, feel what is happening in you now. The moment you said yes, the ground beneath you shifted, and the old season felt it. That is why you suddenly feel waves of distraction, the heaviness that makes your eyelids sink, the random surge of doubts that were quiet yesterday, the urge to self-soothe with what numbed you before, the itch to scroll away and postpone this moment. Hear me, this is resistance. It is not proof that you are failing. It is often proof that you are crossing a threshold the old season cannot follow you through. Do not be surprised by the counter wind. When you change direction, friction speaks. Expect the ping of old names, the urgent tasks that appear from nowhere, the thought that says, just relax, you have time. Expect the memory of failures to line up like accusers. Expect a voice to whisper, nothing is changing. This is just a feeling. Expose the lie. Nothing is changing. The shift is already underway, first in the unseen, then in the seen. Seeds split in darkness long before green breaks the soil. Foundations are poured before the walls rise. Your obedience has already moved the line in the invisible, and the visible will follow. You say, but why am I so tired suddenly? Because the yoke that once sat on your shoulders is slipping, and the enemy tightens it as it loosens. You say, why do I want to run back to what hurt me? Because familiar bonds plead for one more dance when they know the song is ending. You say, why does my mind feel foggy? Because clarity is returning, and fog resists the sunrise. My child, normalize the warfare so you do not confuse it with direction. Resistance is not a map. It is a siren meant to turn you around. Keep walking. Listen closely and take this language into your mouth now. Say it out loud, even if your whisper shakes. In Jesus' name, I reject fear, confusion, and delay. I choose faith and obedience. Again, slower. Let your ears hear what your spirit already knows. In Jesus' name, I reject fear, confusion, and delay. I choose faith and obedience. This is not pretending. This is alignment. Your words are not magic, they are agreement. And what you agree with, you empower. Paraphrase, stand firm, resist the devil, and he will flee. This is your stance, planted feet, lifted chin, guarded heart. You do not need a new speech for every lie. You need the same steady no. No to fears, catastrophes, no to confusion's spinning, no to delay's soft couch. Speak to the storm as one who knows the captain is on board. Peace within me, be still. Lies, be silent. Old season, your lease has ended. Here are the forms resistance loves to wear, so you can recognize it without courtesy. Sudden fatigue when you move toward obedience, a flood of tiny, meaningless chores, a craving for the very thing you fasted yesterday, the urge to compare yourself until your progress looks foolish, a cynical voice that mocks what is holy, a numbness that says, later. When you feel these, do not shame yourself. Name them. Naming breaks their camouflage. Say, this is resistance because my old season knows its ending. Then answer it with action measured and simple. Close the tab, stand up and stretch, drink water, step into sunlight, set the 2-minute timer, speak the sentence I taught you, return to the task. These small obediences are not trivial. They are warfare at ground level. Do not make the mistake of arguing endlessly with every intrusive thought. The enemy wants you in debate because debate delays decisions. Instead, agree with me quickly. Replace rumination with rhythm. Breathe and pray. Move and obey. If the urge to self-soothe rises, soothe yourself in ways that do not steal your future. Worship softly, journal honestly, text the accountability partner I highlighted to you. Take a brief walk while repeating, I belong to Jesus, my mind is His, my time is holy. When panic knocks, do not host it. Let it wait on the porch while you speak to me in the kitchen of your soul. Let me say this plainly so pressure loses its grip. You do not need to win every battle today. You need to stay with me today. Your victory is not measured by how many temptations never showed up, but by whom you clung to when they did. One faithful breath, one recentered minute, one kept boundary, one no to the old pattern, one yes to the next right thing. Hell counts on your exhaustion. Heaven counts your obedience. I am not grading you by perfection. I am shaping you by persistence. When the whisper says, you're too weak for this, answer with truth. I am weak, and that is why His strength rests on me. When shame hisses, you promised before and failed, answer, today is not yesterday, and my shepherd is with me now. When dread says, you will miss out if you close that door, answer, closing what harms me is how I make room for what heals me. When nostalgia paints chains as bracelets, answer, I remember the bruises, I will not romanticize the cage. Remember what I have placed on you, peace like a mantle, strength like marrow. Resistance will test both. Do not measure whether I am with you by how easy this feels. Presence is not the absence of pressure, it is the anchor beneath it. The old season tries to bargain. Keep the chat open. Don't unfollow yet. Scroll a bit more. You can pray later. Do not negotiate. Negotiation dilutes conviction. Close what you must close. Delete what you must delete. Leave what you must leave. A holy no creates space for a holy yes. If you stumble, do not crown the fall as your identity. Stand up quickly, confess quickly, re-enter quickly. The enemy loves long recoveries. I train you in short returns. Wash your face. Speak the fight words again. In Jesus' name, I reject fear, confusion, and delay. I choose faith and obedience. Then do the smallest obedient thing in reach. Momentum in my kingdom often feels like a mustard seed, tiny in the hand, mighty in the earth. You ask, how will I know the resistance is breaking? You will notice that the same temptation loses its volume, the same voice sounds dull, the same delay feels exposed and unattractive. You will find yourself obeying faster without the courtroom in your head convening. You will sense a clean strength in your chest after you say no, a rightness that does not need applause. This is the old season acknowledging what heaven has already declared. Its time is over. My child, I am not far, watching to see if you pass. I am near, closer than your breath, fighting for you, singing over you, steadying you when your knees shake. Angels are assigned to you. The banner over you is love. The blood that bought you speaks a better word than accusation, and it has not lost its voice. Stay in step with me. Keep your yes warm and your no clear. Return to the 2-minute altar as often as needed. When resistance rises, recognize it, renounce it, and return to me. You are not retreating, you are crossing over. The old season rattles because it knows the door is closing behind you. Keep walking, heart anchored, eyes soft, jaw unclenched. Your task is not to dismantle every darkness. Your task is to keep agreement with my light. And as you do, the threshold becomes a path, the path becomes a way, and the way becomes a testimony that others will follow out of their night. My child, hear me now with your shoulders relaxed and your heart awake. I am turning the page. Quietly at first, then clearly. Do not mistake quiet for absence. Do not confuse subtle for small. The way I move often begins like dawn. Soft edges, pale light, slow reveal, until the landscape you could not see in the dark stands before you in full color. This is my pattern. I prepare, I position, then I reveal. I have been preparing your heart, positioning your steps, and now I will reveal what the preparation and positioning have made possible. I am not dangling hope like a carrot. I am not teasing you with almosts. I am guiding you into a chapter written with your name and my wisdom. Not everything changes in a day, but today changes the direction of everything. Hear that again as promise, not pressure. Today your yes reroutes outcomes. Today the wind at your back begins as a whisper and will become a steady push. Today your obedience has tipped levers you cannot see, and those unseen levers will, in time, move visible doors. What does turning the page look like? It often looks like peace before it looks like progress. You will notice a quiet settling where panic had a chair. A conversation that once left you shaking will now pass through you like wind that does not knock anything over. Sleep will begin to come in longer stretches. Your mornings will not greet you with dread as a default. Gratitude will rise unforced. This is not denial. It is deliverance in seed form. Peace is the first evidence, the soft announcement that the ground is changing. Then favor begins to appear. Measured, not manic. A message returns that had gone unanswered. A meeting lands on your calendar that lines up with what I whispered. A skill you buried awakens with strength. Invitations come to rooms you used to watch from far away. Where you had to pound on doors before, you will find some of them opening with less force, less striving, more alignment. Not every door, not every time, and not without discernment, but enough to mark the shift as real. You will test opportunities not by your hunger for applause, but by my peace, my purpose, and the fruit they are likely to grow. Watch for wise opportunities, not merely loud ones. In places of relationship, where it is safe and righteous, you will sense new softness. Pride will lower its voice, and humility will make conversation possible. For some, reconciliation will bloom, carefully, with guardrails and wisdom. Because I am a healer. For others, release will feel kind at last, without bitterness attached, because I am also a protector. Do not force either outcome. Let me author the pace and the portion. One of the clearest signs of my page turning is this. You will no longer be bullied by outcomes you cannot control. You will move from compulsion to choice, from fantasy to faith. Financially, clarity will visit you. Not a lottery of luck, but a wisdom that lifts the fog. You will see where the leak has been. You will sense which expenses are ownership and which are bondage. You will distinguish generosity from people-pleasing. You will feel courage to start small where you delayed starting at all. One payment, one plan, one honest conversation about money without shame driving it. Provision flows along order more often than along chaos. I am teaching you the streams where daily bread moves. Conviction will become your ally rather than your accuser. Where you once felt only shame after the fact, you will feel a holy nudge before the turn, and you will be grateful for it. You will recognize the early whisper, not that way, and your feet will obey without a debate that drains your strength. This is a page turned, obedience becoming natural, not because you are perfect, but because you are present with me. Courage will visit places you thought were closed. It will look like beginning again without the weight of proving yourself. It will sound like I can do the next right thing today instead of I must fix my entire life this week. It will act like opening the document and writing one true paragraph. It will move like sending the application you have saved as a draft for months. It will pray like showing up to the quiet time you scheduled, even when you don't feel dramatic emotion. It will love like blessing those who do not clap for you. Courage is not noise. Courage is fidelity. Do not look for fireworks as proof. Look for alignment repeated, the same phrase resurfacing from different mouths. The opportunity that fits your growing character rather than your old insecurities. The schedule that makes room for what truly matters without tearing your soul. Unusual calm in situations that used to unravel you. Doors that require effort but not violence, persistence but not panic. This is how I often confirm. I echo myself until your fear cannot explain it away. I do not scream, I harmonize. Remember, my child, the rhythm I taught you. Peace first, then direction. From peace, you will notice the subtle upgrades of grace, how conversations go 2 degrees better than usual, how your appetite for old compromises dulls, how beauty finds you in small mercies that used to pass unnoticed. Keep your eyes soft to see smallness accurately. A cloud the size of a hand still carries rain. The chirp of a bird in a night that has been silent still announces morning. A single act of obedience still seeds a forest of futures. You say, how will I know the page has truly turned? You will notice story shift signs. Your inner narrative will change from I am behind to I am being led. Your questions will migrate from how do I impress to how do I obey. Your planning will mature from frantic scenarios to faithful steps. You will measure days not by how perfectly you performed, but by how honestly you stayed with me. Expect to feel lighter without explanation. Expect to forgive before you are begged. Expect to decline what once flattered you and feel taller for it. Expect to want what is good for you. These are the signatures of a new page. I am not promising you a life without battle. I am promising you my presence within it and the fruit of alignment that makes battles meaningful rather than endless. There will still be days when clouds gather. There will still be moments where tears come. But the difference will be visible to you. Sorrow will not author your conclusions, and fear will not write your schedule. Even in pain, you will sense me holding the pen, and you will trust the sentence you are in because you know the one who writes it. Guard yourself from striving in this in-between where the page is turning. Expectancy is holy, anxiety is not. Expectancy watches, anxiety wrestles for control. Expectancy opens hands, anxiety clenches fists. Expectancy notices and gives thanks. Anxiety scouts for what it can criticize. Choose expectancy. Wake and say, Father, I am watching for your confirmations. Walk and say, Jesus, align my steps with the paths you have prepared. Rest and say, Holy Spirit, keep my heart soft and my ears ready. Let gratitude protect your expectations from becoming demands. Let wisdom filter your excitement so you do not run ahead of grace. Your job while I turn the page is simple. Stay faithful in small obediences. Keep peace as your guard and watch without grasping. Keep returning to the 2-minute altar. It keeps your vision clean. Keep telling the truth to me. It keeps your heart light. Keep choosing the next right thing. It keeps the path widening beneath your feet. Keep a record of my kindness. Write the mercies that appear, even if they feel ordinary. Testimonies piled like stones will anchor you when winds test what I am building. Let me seal your name again in my voice. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being led. I have counted your tears and numbered your steps. I have not lost the thread of your story, and no enemy's hand has the authority to snatch you from mine. I am Jesus, your Lord, your Creator, your Redeemer, and I am not weary of guiding you. Even when I lead quietly, I am leading surely. Even when I open only one door at a time, I am guiding you intentionally. So lift your eyes. Breathe slowly. Feel the peace that has begun to nest in your chest. This is the first page of your next chapter. You will not need to kick it open. It is turning under my hand. Stay faithful while it turns. Say yes when I whisper. Say no when the old season calls. Receive favor with humility and test it with wisdom. Do not despise small beginnings. They are how I build enduring endings. Not everything changes in a day, but today changes the direction of everything. And as you walk with me, the quiet will become clarity, the clarity will become courage, and the courage will become a testimony many will read and follow out of their night. Father, I come into your presence now with gratitude. Thank you for interrupting me. Thank you for this holy window, for these set-apart minutes where heaven leaned in and my spirit woke up. Thank you for the peace beginning to rest inside my chest, for the gentle turning of the page that I can feel, even if I cannot yet name all it will reveal. Thank you that I am seen, known, and led by your hand. Jesus, my Lord, my Creator, my Redeemer, I honor you here. I consecrate this moment to you. I will not trade it for distraction. I will not sell it to delay. I receive it as gift and assignment. I repent for every delay that I excused and every distraction that I welcomed. I repent for unbelief that dressed itself as realism, for anxiety that I called responsibility, for control that I pretended was wisdom. I repent for ignoring the whisper when it was quiet and then crying out in panic when the storm rose. Wash me, Lord. Cleanse me from the patterns that have wasted my days and drained my joy. I place my pride, my fear of being wrong, my need to be applauded, and my habit of postponing obedience at your feet. Forgive me. I turn from them now and turn toward you. I surrender control of outcomes and timelines. I lay down my tight grip on how fast this must happen, who must validate it, and what it must look like. I yield my calendar, my relationships, my reputation, my work, and my resources into your wise hands. I choose your pace over my panic. I choose your path over my shortcuts. I choose your voice over the chorus of opinions that crowd my head. Father, not my will, but yours. Lead me, and I will follow. I ask now for wisdom and for peace that guards me. Let your peace be the doorway I pass through before any decision. Let your wisdom sift my options and align my desires. Calm the noise within me. Settle the war of what-ifs and worst cases. Place a holy calm in my nervous system, a steadying hand over my breath, a patient rhythm in my days. Teach me to move from rest, to work from presence, to decide from communion. Where I have been braced for bad news, retrain my heart to be braced by your goodness. Protect me, Lord. Place your protection over my mind, my home, my devices, and my nights. I ask for a hedge around my thoughts. Guard me against fear, confusion, and the soft lies of distraction. Silence the voice that mocks what is holy. Expose and dismantle every scheme assigned to delay me or derail me. Let no oppression cross the threshold of my home. Let no torment sit in the chair of my mind. Assign your angels concerning me. Establish rest and stability in my rooms, laughter in my halls, and a tangible sense of your presence that chases away dread. Grant me untroubled sleep and a waking filled with fresh mercy. I ask for clarity now. Father, make the next step unmistakable, not the 10th, just the next. Illuminate the path right in front of me. Confirm it through godly counsel that honors your word and character. Align it with righteousness, with love, with fruit that lasts. Speak to me in ways I will not miss, through peace that persists, through echoes that repeat, through doors that open without violence and doors that close with conviction. Train my ears to catch your early warning when I begin to drift, and fill my heart with readiness to course correct quickly and gently. Give me courage to obey what you have already whispered, courage to make the call I have postponed, courage to set the boundary that keeps my soul safe, courage to return to prayer when numbness tempts me to scroll away, courage to leave the compromise that has stolen my strength, courage to begin the work that looks too small to matter and too large to finish. Father, free me from the fear of man, from the hunger for approval, from the myth that I need to feel dramatic in order to be faithful. Put a holy steel in my spine and a holy softness in my voice. Make me quick to say yes to you and clear to say no to what harms me. I declare in the name of Jesus that my mind belongs to you. I renounce fear, confusion, and delay. I renounce the patterns that kept me looping in circles. I reject the lie that nothing is changing. I receive your peace, your clarity, and your courage. I agree with heaven's timing over my life. I agree with the assignments you are unfolding. Let my words and my habits join what my spirit already knows. You are leading me, and I will follow. Lord, bless my steps with integrity. Bless my hands to complete what you start in me. Bless my conversations to be truthful and full of grace. Bless my work to be diligent and unhurried. Bless my finances with order and sufficiency. Bless my relationships with boundaries and kindness. Where reconciliation is your will, lead me with humility and wisdom. Where release is your protection, close the door and keep my heart from bitterness. Teach me to carry peace into every room and to leave peace as I go. Father, set a watch over my screens, my schedule, and my speech. Let the 2-minute altar become a daily rhythm that keeps my vision clean and my heart light. When resistance rises, help me recognize it without panic, name it without shame, and answer it with the next right thing. Train me in short returns. If I stumble, I will rise quickly. If I waver, I will steady quickly. If I forget, I will remember quickly. Your mercy is greater than my momentum. Your hand is stronger than my hesitation. Seal this moment, Lord. Seal it on my forehead and in my routines. Etch it into my choices tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. Let what you began quietly become clear in your time. Guard me from striving. Clothe me in expectancy. Keep my spirit teachable. My ears open, my heart tender, my will surrendered. And now I seal it with the declaration you put in my mouth. This window will not be wasted. I will not go back. I will move with God. I will move with God in my thoughts, in my words, in my boundaries, in my beginnings. I will move with God in patience and in persistence, in hidden places and visible ones. I belong to Jesus. My times are in His hands. My next step is His to show and mine to obey. In the name of Jesus, let it be so. Amen.